Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how I'm going to unwrap and hopefully texture both of these books. I'm going to try to do it all in one shot. So what I'm going to start with, I'll start with this easier one. Now if you remember, if I really wanted to, I'm actually going to save that for after. I could add a bunch of bevels to it and things, but it's going to probably be a lot easier to texture this way. So this is going to be one texture because those are going to be the pages. I'm just going to do camera based. I'm going to do panels, saved layouts, and Persp UV editor. And I'll turn on my little blue box, and then tools, move UV shell tool. I'm going to grab this. I believe that's what it is. I'm going to go to my UV toolkit and do unfold. And unless I grab the wrong one, which I didn't. So that's that one. Okay, double check, yep. So that one's ready to go. Now I've got to do the rest of the book, and really it should be, I'm going to turn this off for a second. It should be pretty simple to grab all these faces. I think that's the rest of them. I'm going to use UV camera based. I'm going to tools, move UV shell tool. I'm going to select it and I'm going to click unfold. And now you can see how I've got my book here. Now it might be better if I were to, I might get a better look to it if I do each side of the book as its own, which I think I'm going to do because I'm getting this weird curvature, which is okay. I wouldn't have any seams on it, but it might distort more than I would like. So I'm going to just do it this way. UV camera based. Oop, I clicked the wrong thing. Camera based. Tools, move UV shell tool. Grab that out of the way, click unfold. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't like that. So I want each one of these pages, the front and the back cover, to be its own. So it looks like I might have to do this a little bit different. And then maybe that all becomes one. I'm okay with that. I think that'll look okay. Okay. So what I think I'll do, I might start to, okay, so which side do I have left? And then what is this? Oh, to the back. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select certain edges, and I'm going to cut so, move and so. I'm going to do the same thing here. G for last tool used. And I'm going to run an unfold on it. And now I've got that perfectly clean front, back, side. Now the other thing I can probably do, if I cut these in the right places, I can probably get some pretty clean and be a little less confusing. Cut these ones, and I'm just kind of eyeballing this. Oh. And then here and here. Just see what happens. I think that's going to be pretty good. I want to double check something if it's possible. That looked like it cleaned it up pretty well, but I just don't want it to do that. So I'm gonna leave these undone. At least again for now. So I'm gonna go back over here. And then hold on, this, and this. Cut, and then I'm gonna move and sew these edges. Now the problem I run into is if I start to merge these verts together, I start to get some weird distortion when I start to combine them later. So I think I'm gonna leave it just as it is. And then this is just the pages. So now I'm gonna take this, just like always, assign new material, Lambert. I'll locate my, let's get rid of all this stuff because it's too much to look at. Checkerboard material, Lambert material. And then I'm going to go to color and do the checker. And then I'm going to go to tools, move UV shell tool. I'm going to highlight both of them, modify, and layout. Now I don't like exactly how it is, but it doesn't look like it's giving me much of an option just because how the pages are. Now, unless I were to break this into other pieces, I can't really do a whole lot more. However, doesn't mean I can't try to. So basically, these are both going to be scaled uniformly very well. Right, I got my perfect checkerboards around, but I want to increase the space so I have way more space with this book so I can get the maximum amount of geometry, or not geometry, texture quality out of it. And I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off, but I'm certainly going to try. And I hate to do it to it, but I think I can get away with it. I'll have to put it on a slight angle. Oh. No, I'm not gonna be able to get away with it. I don't know what I was just thinking. I gotta go to this point. So, but I'm gonna try to maximize it as best as I can. I'm not even close. So at this point here, let's go to my UV toolkit, align and snap. Let's align it to the right just a little bit. Let's get this just a little bit more. Excuse me, allergies. Let's snap it to the top. Oh, top right. That should work. Now I typically never say to do this, but because they're gonna look totally different, I'm gonna just try, because they're on their own sort of UVs. This should work. I think it'll look good too. I don't think the distortion, you're gonna notice it, but I would like to get as much out of this as I can. I think that's gonna work. I can go a little bit bigger. Perfect. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be my book texture. So, tools or image. We're gonna do UV snapshot. Oops. Locate where you want to put it. Okay, apply and close. Open up Photoshop. I found these on texture sites, so I'm kind of gonna use them. So pages, that'll be like the outside of the closed book, and this will be the book itself. Let's go ahead and file, open, closed book UVs. I was playing around, I added a text effect and things, but the original texture looks just like this. But I'm gonna take this book texture. I can show you how to do the text in a second. So I'm gonna take this one. All I did was just isolate. I got rid of the background. In order to do that, I guess I'll start here. A quick little tip: select color range, and then let's see. This is typically how I'll do it. Highlights. So basically what I'm shooting for is the book is like the only thing. So the book is the only thing you see. Press OK. It's selecting that color range now. But what I can do, because it's highlighted, I could delete it, or I could do select inverse and then Control C, and then go to my closed book UVs, Control V, and then Control T, and this image size is just absolutely massive. And now I gotta kind of put this book together. All right, so in order to do that, the first thing I want to do, and actually I didn't erase this part or this part, so I'm going to delete this one. You get the idea. All you'd have to do is erase this part here, this little part here, and I'm going to go here and Control click, Control C, Control V, because I cleaned this one up all the way. And now I'm going to Control T for my transform tool and zoom out, and then bring this thing down in size. And it's going to be something like this. Right? And now I got to kind of stitch it all together. So I'm going to duplicate this layer, bring it on top, and I'm going to do screen on my blending mode. Now going to zoom in. And the first thing I'm going to do is just try to get this book in place. So, that's probably a pretty good start. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this out, Control X, Control Shift V to add it to a new layer, and then I'm just going to go ahead and resize this thing to fit. Holding Shift, I'm just resizing this thing, and I'd say that's pretty good. Go back to here, grab my selection tool, I already have it selected, Control X, Control Shift V, Control T. I'm going to just go ahead and scale this one to fit, give or take, right? And then so binding, caps lock is on. Huh, that's weird. Whatever, okay. Okay, my keyboard's being weird now. I think I probably need to restart my PC. I put it through a lot of work today. And we'll see how far I can get with it. So while I'm at it, I'm just gonna I'm gonna finish this video out because I'm just having some technical errors come up. I'm gonna export this as a PNG. Diffuse, see? Maybe it's working now. Save, and then while I'm at it, file save as. Save it as a Photoshop file as well. And I'm going to go back into Maya real quick. Select my object, go to my attribute. Well, first I'm going to assign a new material. This will be an Arnold shader, AI standard surface. I'm going to go to my little color button. I know it's not done. I'm going to hit File, hit Image Name, locate that file. And now you can see the start of my book coming together in order to get that texture done. So it's a work in progress. I'm going to end the video now. I'm probably going to reboot my computer and come back to this. Let's see if it is working right. Let's just do one last thing. I already have the pages. Control A, Control C, and Control V, Control T, Control 0. Let's rotate that around at 90 degrees. Let's scale it much smaller. And let's bring it down like that. And let's see if I can just wrap this thing up real quick since it seems to be working okay again. I'm going to go to my binding, Control T, and I'm just starting to, whoa. Let's bring that over. And then what I'm going to do, there's so many. Oh, let's try the spot healing brush. I haven't showed you that one yet that I remember. So the spot healing brush right here. Now it's confusing if you don't have it right, but before I do that, let me just finish getting this where I want it to be. Get it to fit. All right, so now that I've got that, I carried some of that white from the other one. I'm gonna combine all these real quick as a duplicate layer. And I wanna show you this spot healing brush, and I'm just gonna see if it does anything, does any good. You know what? I'm gonna go back to that binding before I do that. Now I'm gonna click all these, combine them with my spot healing brush. I'm gonna see if this will blend it really cleanly for me and see what happens. Of course I'm not on my spot healing brush. There we go. Make it a little bit bigger. I'm just gonna go ahead and cover up the best as I can. It's almost doing a great job, and that's kind of how it works. Let's go up to, let's just keep trying it, see what happens. I don't want it to keep adding those weird bindings, but you get the idea. Sometimes it works amazing, and it really is doing a pretty good job. I just wish it was doing it a little bit better. I don't want it to keep adding those weird looking, so let's try something else. Try this one. I don't even know what it does. Nope. So, all right, we'll go back to the old trusty clone stamp. I am going to simply grab a spot right here on this book. I'm actually going to increase my brush size. Grab a spot right here on this book. And then I'm gonna just paint over it. And something like that'll work. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna use the same part of the book. I'm holding Alt when I click on here, so it's actually grabbing that pixelation information from here where I clicked it, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick little drag, and then I'm gonna do the same thing from this side, right back over it. Maybe increase my brush size a little bit more on this side. And then, I want to get that binding a little bit more cleanly in there, and I can touch up the edges here shortly. But I do want to see what it looks like on the model, so I am going to do a file, save it out first, and then file, export, quick PNG, save, yes, I want to replace it, and then I'm going to go back into my Maya file, go to my attribute editor. This is going to be closed book Arnold material, and reload. And now I'm actually pretty satisfied with it. It's kind of got the binding where it would be. So here's the front of it, the binding in the back. I could essentially make this a little bit more friendly. And now that I've got it textured, it'll actually automatically cut into the mesh without messing it up. So if I wanted to sort of bring this in a little bit, I could. It'll scrunch and stretch your textures too when you do that. So you can only get away with it like so much. But let's see. Let's do 20%. I think the other one did 30. I think it scooched over. Let's see if I can get away to 10. Nope. 20 is the closest it'll let me get. And we're going to take both of these, bring them in just a bit. I actually think it's pretty decent. I'm okay with it. Like, that would work. Now, I would like it to go out a little bit more, but I'm going to just leave it. I think it's fine. And if I wanted to, let's see if it would do it. Multi-cut tool. Do it right there on that binding. I probably would need 2 of them. And one on the other side. Give it that little indent on the book. You see what I mean? It just adds a little bit more to the texture of it, but I also might want this to not be curled in like that because it looks weird, right? If I even grab the right vertices. Oh, I gotta grab. Anyway, you get the idea. But I'm gonna still do it. Can't help it. No, I don't want to grab that one. I want to grab that one. I think that's it. And I'm noticing a little texture scrunching there, so let's go ahead and bring that out. And like, I'm okay with that. I think that looks great. That will totally work for, and then I think I didn't finish this part, but that I'm going to literally create a new layer. I'll grab my clone stamp brush. Now I have to select this layer where I want it to start from, and I'm going to click here, go back to this layer so I keep them separate. I might need this brush to be even bigger. And then I would do the same thing here. Get that one all done. And start down here. And then something like that. Same thing down here on this part. I'm still going to use the top part of this. So here, I'll go right here, go back down to the, I'm just going to do it all in the same layer. And then come back here, come back to this layer. Again. And one last spot. Grab from here. And I think that will do it. So, only one way to find out. Turn that off. Save it out, yes. Okay, I meant to export file, export as PNG. Save, yes. Open up Maya. Reload the texture. And now I've got the entire thing all done. So there's the book. I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. I can add text to this too. I forgot I said I was going to do that. So how I added the text, I'll just have to grab a text tool. I wrote like La 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 by John Smith. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to center it. And then what I did was I just looked for some weird, that's the one I used, and then something like that. And then what I did was I took that La 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 by John Smith and I duplicated it. Now, this is the easiest way to do it. There is a way to find it up here, but it doesn't let you edit anything on it because it needs to be rasterized first. So I just grab my eraser tool and click on the stage or the canvas. And maybe I want it to be a little bit more centered. Don't really need that one anymore as long as I'm happy with the text. And now what I'll do is I will double click on this. I'll do like bevel and emboss, inner bevel, outer bevel. So this one I'm going to have to do an inner bevel, screen size. You can do all types of things, soften, down, there we go. And it sort of looks like it's into the book. And then the other thing I did, I think, was an image adjustments, hue saturation, because all this other design work is in like a softer gray. I just simply kind of did something to sort of match it, and then I just press OK. File, export as PNG, yes, and then back into Maya. Of course, I'm upside down on it. I'm going to reload that texture, and now you'll see I've got right here. Now it looks, on the text, I have it upside down, so there we go. And then I still would need to do, if I was gonna do the bevel on it, it actually will do the, it's sometimes easier to do the bevel after you texture because it'll do the work for you. Just to show you. Definitely good to know. Save you steps and steps and steps. Oh. And as long as I grab all the right edges, should be good. And I think I'll do this one too. Is it that one? Oh. This one. And I think I grabbed them all. All right, let's just try it. Oh. Okay, so now I'll do bevel edge, and it just cuts into the geometry for me right in here, so I don't have to do any extra stuff. And it's showing some weird things happening here in terms of edges, but it doesn't mess up the texture at all as long as you don't touch it after the fact. So now, as long as I grabbed everything properly, you can see I can enter it into smooth mode, and it doesn't do that weird deformity of shape. So I'm going to cut this video here on this book. I think I've shown you enough. You should be able to texture this by yourself, unwrap texture by now. I've shown a lot of different things. One last thing I will do is I'm going to duplicate this, and I want to show you one last little trick. I could change the text on the front of it if I wanted to, but I could also, so what I would do here is maybe everything but the text. I'm going to merge these all, and then I would do image. I just want to show you something. Image adjustments, color balance. You could probably do a lot of them. Let's try color balance first. And if I wanted to, maybe not red. Oh, maybe I might have wanted to leave off the pages as well. So let's undo that. Don't I have the pages down here somewhere? Always helps to have your texture, so I'm really only going to need these here. Control E. And then image adjustments. Now I can do color balance, hue, saturation, probably any one of these. It will mess around with it, but I'm just going to try color balance. Let's say I want a blue kind of book. I can start to play around with the color balance on it and without actually changing a whole lot. Hue, saturation is always a good one. Colorize. I just want to see what old style does. And you could have whatever kind of weird kind of progression you want. So if I wanted a purple book, blue, purple, whatever, you just got to play around with these. I think that's good. Blue, purple, whatever. And then I could save this one out. Purple. Click save. And now in Maya, I will assign new material, AI standard surface. I'm also going to delete all by type history. And now I'm going to go to my color, go to my file, go to here, locate my file, book, close book, purple. So I'll open this one. And now you see I've got the same exact book, just in a different color. So a color swap, just like Super Mario and Luigi in the early days, or Sub-Zero and Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Those are just a couple that spring to my head that are super popular. Where it's the same exact art, it's just, they literally just changed the colors. So if this was a video game or a movie or something, this would be my book on magic, and this would be my book on history, right? So I'm just throwing ideas out there. But anyway, that is the how to texture that book. I'm happy with the results. I'm going to go ahead and end the video, and this I would just unwrap however you're most comfortable with. If I do a quick automatic, you could literally texture it from here if you wanted to customize it to make it a little bit easier to see, read, or draw on in Photoshop. You have more, you can totally do that, but then you would just get right into texturing. So if you do have any questions, shoot me a message. More than happy to answer any questions you have. I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the next one. All right, and keep working on your midterms.